Hey everybody, so I am going to do a quick channel update video, and while I do that, I'm going to play a game called House Flippers, which sure, a lot of you probably heard about this game by now. Let's see here. Hi there, after the death of my beloved life, I sold our house and it brings back so many memories I can't cope with. I've decided to buy a new house and requires some work. It needs cleaning and new radiators. It's too much for me and I don't have the strength, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So basically this game is actually, it's kind of simple. You just, take on a job like I just did, and then there's tasks like clean it. Oh goodness. And, you clean it up, fix it up, and you can renovate it, and I actually find it to be quite relaxing. I haven't played it in a couple weeks. I think it's had an update or two since I last played, but I didn't really know what I wanted to play while I was chatting, and I thought, this probably would be easy. And I really like this game, actually. It's kind of silly. Actually, the first time I ever saw it was when I was watching streams when Bukajin was playing it, and it made me want to get it when it eventually went on sale because I'm cheap. But anyway, so while I'm doing this, I wanted to give you guys an update about my channel because I'm probably gonna have a break in videos soon, and I just wanted to let you guys know. So basically, for anyone who's been following my current videos, you might remember a little while back in Suikoden I mentioned that I got sick, and then I was talking about it in Monster Rancher. Basically what happened was I got a really bad kidney infection because of my first kidney stone. And I was actually you can buy a radiator. I don't remember how to buy a radiator. It's been a little while since I've played. No, I don't want to change the tool. I want to open my PDA. How do I do that? Oh, tab. Go to the store and buy a radiator. Sorry, my microphone's sitting on this right next to my keyboard, so you probably heard that. So yeah, it took me a little while actually to get to heal from that whole situation because I had to have a stent put in, and that actually was, in my opinion, it was worse than the it was worse than the kidney stone at times. It was just it was not fun. And clean the dirt here. Oh, well, that was quick. Okay, I gotta paint the color sleepy blue. Okay, well, let's buy some paint. Where's paint? Walls? Ah, here we go. This is what happens every time I do this. I get sidetracked with what I'm playing, and then I'm like, what was I talking about? Maybe if I typed in sleepy blue? There we go. Let's buy that. Yeah. Boop. And then we'll change the tool to paint, and we'll start painting the room. At least I can do that while talking, much better than trying to buy the paint. Ooh, that's a bit blue. Goodness, that's not sleepy blue. That's like in your face blue. Anyways, so you know, it took me a little while to recover from that, and I was doing fine. And but what ended up happening was while I was there, I mean, I had to do a lot of tests. I mean, they did ultrasounds on me. I had a CAT scan done because, you know, they were trying to figure out originally what was wrong with me. They didn't know about the kidney stone like right off the bat. And so they did a bunch of tests. And so after the whole thing, my doctor who was taking care of me in the hospital in the ER, he said, oh, and by the way, we found something else. But it's not an emergency right now. Let's deal with all this other stuff first, and then we'll call you back in, and we'll talk about it. And I was like, okay. So at the time, you know, we weren't too concerned, me and Helper. We're like, okay, he's not concerned, I'm not concerned. So we go back and have an appointment with him, and the doctor was like, well, we found a mass on your adrenal gland, and your adrenal gland is right next to your kidney. So it was actually like, you know, right where they were working, and they were like, but don't worry, you know, 90% of the time these turn out to be absolutely nothing. So, but you know, he's like, I just like to make sure, so, because I just want to be absolutely sure you're totally fine. So we're just going to do a couple quick tests and make sure that you're totally fine. And so at first I was a little nervous, but I was like, he doesn't seem to be worried. And my dad was like, oh, I know lots of people that have like masses on their kidneys and stuff. They're fine, you know. So no one in my family was worried. And so I did more CAT scans and more blood tests and more tests that you don't even want to know about. I'm not gonna, it's gross. You don't want to know. And so we did more tests, and they came back and they said, oh, well, you know how we said like 90% of the time nothing happens with these? Yeah, unfortunately, you're in the 10%. It turns out that the mass on my adrenal gland was not just sitting there idly by. It was actually doing something. And so basically, long story short, I've been diagnosed with Cushing's syndrome. And what that basically means is that mass on my adrenal gland is causing my adrenal gland to produce 20 times the amount of cortisol I'm supposed to be producing in my body. And basically what that means is it's messing me up pretty good, and it's over time it's doing more and more damage to me. So like it's, first of all, it's making me fat, which I know it sounds kind of silly, but I've been kind of upset about that because for most of my life I could never get over 120 pounds, and in the past couple of years I just put on weight like crazy. I weigh like 145, and for me that's like a lot. I know that's actually kind of an okay weight, and that's like fine for most people, but for me to gain that much weight so quickly was just really disturbing. And so I'd actually been trying to work out a lot recently, and of course I didn't realize it was the Cushing's that was causing me to gain all this water weight. So it causes me to gain weight. It's causing me to be very, very anxious and stressed out, which I'm sure you guys have actually probably noticed in some of my newer LPs. Like, I get stressed out really fast. And I was, for a while, I just thought I was just becoming more anxious, and I was actually starting to get worried about it, but it's actually just the cortisol in my body that's doing it to me. Yeah, it's doing other things to me. Was it stressed? It's making my bones a little bit more brittle. Like, you guys are gonna laugh. I actually sat on my foot the other week, and I think I fractured my own foot sitting on it. It's actually been injured for a few days, weeks now. I think it's been over a week. But it's fine. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's pretty minor, and it makes my muscles really sore. So that's why my muscles hurt all the time. And I get like when I record with the Icon, especially, like I start to get really sore, like sitting in that chair. And for a while I was like, dang, I'm just kind of a wuss. Like, I can't believe just sitting makes me sore. Well, again, it's the Cushing's. So I mean, it's doing a lot of things to me that's negative, and I just didn't realize it. You know, because for a lot of things you're like, oh, I'm just gaining weight, I need to work out more, or I'm just, I need to chill out, so I need to work on my anxiety. It turns out none of it was my fault. But so the good news is it is treatable. Like, while I do have, it turns out, the rarest form of Cushing's syndrome, having a mass on my adrenal gland. So I'm distracted by this. Let's buy a bed. Whoa. Can I turn it? Oh, I can turn it. Okay. It's been a couple weeks since I've played this, so I haven't really played much of anything, honestly, because of all this going on. So it is treatable, assuming that this is the only source of the cortisol production in my body, because, it could be on the pituitary, but all my doctors, all like 5 of them, think it's this thing on my adrenal gland. They're like, oh, it's treatable. We'll just remove the tumor on they call it an adenoma. They call it that for when it's on the adrenal gland. But basically, it's just a tumor. They're like, we're going to remove that and you'll be fine. It'll stop producing all the extra cortisol and you'll be totally fine. The problem is it's not that simple, unfortunately. While the surgery itself is going to be simple and removing it isn't going to be difficult, it's the recovery that's going to be very, very difficult for me. So it's probably been a couple years since I've had this, because it's been slowly building up in my body. So my body is used to having a crud ton of cortisol. So basically, once it leaves my body completely, I'm going to be suffering from withdrawal symptoms of not having the cortisol in my body anymore. Because again, I'm not exaggerating when I literally have 20 times the amount of cortisol going through my body on a daily basis. In fact, one of the tests they gave me was supposed to completely stop cortisol production in my body, and then I go get the blood test after like my body was supposed to stop producing it completely for like 6 hours. and it was still 20 times higher than it should have been. So they're like, wow, you are way too high. So basically, recovery for me is going to take weeks, if not months. And they don't really know how I'm going to react to it. They say it's different for everybody. So it could be anywhere from in a couple weeks I'm up and about and I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm just not going to feel great. I'm going to be weak, anywhere to months, and I might even be able to walk on my own. Like, I could be stuck with a walker or cane. I've heard stories about, feeling like you got the flu for the first couple weeks. So long story short, it's going to take me quite some time to recover from this. And my surgery is, well, I don't have a date for the surgery, but my pre-op appointment is in a few days. So I assume the surgery is going to be pretty soon after that, like in a week or so. But the reason I'm saying all this is, first of all, I found it kind of interesting that, I went in for something so simple and it's turned into this, well, it was painful, but I thought I was going to be done. It was going to be over with and my life was going to move on, and it has not. It has gotten more and more complicated and is to the point where I've been incredibly stressed out and frustrated, and I'm so sick of the hospital. You guys have no idea. And, but the reason I'm saying all this is because obviously I try my best to get videos out for Suikoden on Saturdays and Monster Rancher on Wednesdays. And I have extreme doubts I'm going to be able to record once I have the surgery. It'll probably be weeks before I can. I mean, I could be insanely lucky. And my mom is like, oh, you'll be fine. You're going to bounce back so fast. So let's all hope that my mom is right. She's like certain that I'm going to be totally fine within a couple weeks. I read which wardrobe I needed, but I've already forgotten. See, now memory loss is actually a side effect. Short-term memory loss is actually a side effect of Cushing's, and I'm not joking. It actually is. So I'm actually going to be really happy and like migraines are actually a side effect. So I'm really, really hopeful that actually this solves my migraines, because I have a migraine almost every week. Like, when I'm not so stressed out, I can go a couple weeks, but usually I get one a week. So I'm really hoping that they go away. But anyway, so I say all this because right now what I'm going to try to do before my surgery is I lined up an extra recording session to try to finish the last flame. We're going to try our dangdest to get that whole flame done before my surgery. Now, I'm pretty sure we can do it, but I'm just warning you that it might not. I'm guessing at 80% chance by this point we're going to finish it. Like I said, we have an extra session planned to record. Now, Monster Rancher, I'm actually behind because of my 4 billion visits to the hospital. I haven't even had time myself to record. I actually have like 1 or 2 videos in my backlog, and that's it. Which chest of drawers did he want? Mall. Okay. I don't even know if everything matches in here. Not that I care. Well, I kind of do care. But, so I actually haven't been recording, and because I just don't have the time. Like, I've spent so much time at the hospital. Like, I've barely done anything on my own. Like, my house is a mess. It's pretty bad. But in the next few days, I've finally caught up on all my chores and everything. So I'm hoping, and Helper's actually around, which is not the plan. Actually, he was supposed to be out of town for business, and his business trip got moved. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I'm going to try to record as much as I can in the next week to have a backlog. But I apologize if there's just going to be a huge break for Monster Rancher. And for Suikoden, I would really, like I said, I want to get the last flame done. It would be great if we could somehow at least get some of the castle and bonus stuff done beforehand, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. It's just because not only am I been busy with all this hospital stuff, but Icon, his wife is pregnant, and her baby's coming soonish. So we should, once I start to recover, because I'm pretty sure after about a month I should be able to at least record a video if I can't. Wow, I'm really in a bad position. So wow. Wait, hold on. Did that door just open in the opposite direction? Hold on. I have never noticed this. Oh, wow, that's one crazily hinged door. I admit I have never seen a door that could do that before in real life. But anyway, so I'm going to try to have a backlog so you guys don't notice a break. but I just warning you just in case if there is. And the other thing is I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to respond to emails, like comments and stuff like that while I'm recovering. In fact, I'm taking 2 weeks minimum from work. So, I mean, I'm not even going to be checking work. Like, they're taking me off all the on calls and everything, and I'm probably actually just going to mute my phone. Because I'm probably just going to be sleeping anyway, from what I understand. I'm just going to be sleeping a lot for the first week. In fact, I don't even know how long I'm going to be in the hospital before they even release me. So I could be there for days, and heck, if I'm checking my phone while I'm in the hospital, I won't lie. I'm not. When I was there last time, it was not the easiest thing to do. Because I'm being hooked up to... Because actually the funny thing is, I never really liked IVs before, but the last couple of times I was in the hospital, I was very bothered by the IV, and because it hurt real bad. Well, it turns out that's because of the Cushing's. I bruise very easily. My muscles are quite sore, so like the IV was painful to have all the time. So I didn't do anything in the hospital besides like watch House Hunters, which is funny because I'm sitting here playing this game. I don't know why. I think that's kind of weird, but anyway, so I just kind of want to let you guys know what's going on. You guys are important to me. All my viewers are, and I really want to release videos in a timely manner, but at the same time, life happens, and it's not always the way you want it to go, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be fine eventually. I am looking forward to a less anxious life. I think it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be quite the recovery road, but I have family and friends, and I'll make it. Helper thinks I'm gonna be just fine. I have to admit, I'm very nervous. I won't lie. I'm not sure. Hold on, is the couch blocking something I'm supposed to add? A radiator. What? This couch is in the way. Why would I put a radiator behind a couch? Doesn't it seem a bit... It seems a bit dangerous. Can I move the couch here? God, that is one ugly couch. Okay, let's buy a radiator. I told Helper I'd only be doing this for 10 minutes. I don't know how long I've been doing this, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 10 minutes by this point.
3 hours.
It's not been 3 hours. I told him we would decide on dinner after I did this, because I was like, no, I need to record this first, and then we'll decide on dinner. It's probably going to be pizza. But yeah, so that's pretty much been my life for the past month, is hospitals and learning all about Cushing's syndrome. Now, it's funny because I actually learned there's a difference between Cushing's disease and Cushing's syndrome during all this as well. I have Cushing's syndrome, which is better because you can actually treat that. But it's funny, you know, it's just funny how life just throws things at you. Like this whole time I just thought it was like little piddly things, like, oh, I'm gaining weight, I need to work out more. And no matter how much I did, like I kept gaining weight. I was like, I need to eat healthier, and I kept gaining weight. And then I kept doing things like sitting on my own foot and breaking it. And I was like, God, how did I do that? Is my butt that big? Helper actually laughed at me when I was joking about it. So I can laugh about all this stuff now. It wasn't funny then, but I guess that's about it. I kind of want to finish this house though before I quit. Did I get all the dirt? Okay, I need to mount another freaking radiator. How many radiators does this person freaking need? Yeah, see, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I start to get stressed out, like, for no reason. Like, this is not a stressful game. In fact, this is why I was playing it for a while, actually. When I had my kidney stint in, it was actually kind of a relaxing game to play. Strangely, I've been playing a lot of Civ 6 recently. Not the one on the computer. I've been playing it on my iPad like a crud ton. I got the iPad Pro for my birthday. Like, the huge one. And, it's amazing. I'm so spoiled by it now. But oh my gosh, so I don't know how many of you guys play Civilization 6, but just in case you do, I'm going to tell you a really funny story. So last night, like 9 o'clock when I was going to bed, since I work on Central Time, I go to bed early. And strangely, I don't get much sleep these days because I'm like really worried about this whole surgery coming up. I was like, I'm going to play a game of Civ, and I've never won a game of Civ with a religious victory, like on Civ 6. So I decided to be a real butt, and I was like, I'm going to make a game a really tiny map with only one other computer player, and I'm just gonna rush them with religion to see if I can win. Just, you know, just for just to say I did it. You know, I mean, it's kind of cheap, I'll admit, but I was like, I don't care. And so the funny thing is, so I started the game and I was doing pretty well. I was like, okay, oops, what happened to my radiator? And I was like, I got this. And then what ended up happening was, so I was, Arabia, I think. Is that how you pronounce it, Helper? Arabia?
Maybe.
Anyway, so I think that's who I was. And so I was playing, and then it turns out, I didn't pick this because I just picked a random computer player. It turned out the other player was Congo. And for anyone who plays Civ 6, you'll know that Congo can't actually have a religion of its own. So I ended up really lucking out because he was like, spread your religion to me. And he was literally the only other player. So as soon as I did, I would have won religious victory. So I think I ended up beating a whole game of Civ in like 35 minutes. And it was the cheapest victory ever. But I was so excited that I finally had the achievement on my iPad for a religious victory, even though it was like ridiculously cheap. But it was still a fun game. Like, I know it was cheap, but the fact that I finally won a religious victory. I don't remember. It was like, I named all my cities after like soda, like Diet Coke and ginger ale and stuff. And so like, I think the name of my religion was Love Thy Soda. So they were like talking about loving thy soda. And I just thought it was funny. I always have a theme with my Civ games, and I name them something goofy. Okay, we need to clean the windows. This game is addicting. Like, I don't know what it is about this game that's so much fun. And there's so many people that have tried to copy it too, and I've never tried any of them, but I don't know if they've done well or not. I don't really follow this kind of game. When Luca was playing out on her stream, I actually really enjoyed watching it. I was like, why do I enjoy watching such a silly game? And then I waited for it to go on super sale, and I think I got it for like $4 or something. I was like, nah, I'll definitely play it for $4. Oh my gosh, sleepy blue again. Okay. I don't like this sleepy blue color for some reason. It's way too dark. Yeah, you can actually do a lot of stuff in this game. Like, you can knock down walls, like rebuild them and stuff. But this one is more of a clean up the house and repaint and redecorate. Which is funny because when you first start the game, you don't have that many abilities, which sounds kind of silly. Like, you can't do a lot of wall work and stuff like that. You have to kind of work up, and you can actually gain skills. And the funny thing is, one thing I've never done in this game is I think you can actually just buy, like, the office I'm in right now is you can sell that house. Like, you renovate the house you're in as an office, and you can sell it. I've never actually done that. Like, I just kind of like doing these mindless missions. Like, I'll put on an LP in the background, somebody else's, and just mindlessly do this. Like, I don't want to have to really think about it. So it's kind of dumb when I say that. I don't know, just recently I just don't want to think about anything. I just kind of want to do nothing. It's like, I've been so busy. Like, I generally have a game I'm playing on my own, and for a while it was Dragon Quest VIII. It took me 2 months to beat Dragon Quest VIII, and I only put like 60 hours on the game. Like, that's a ridiculously long time for me to take to play an RPG. Like, that's how little time I had to play. It took me that long to beat it. It was a good game, I have to admit. I really enjoyed Dragon Quest VIII. I'm a little sad though, because I think it was one of those games that was hyped up so much to me. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it was the best in the series, excluding 11, because people were telling me this before 11 came out. Because to me, I think 11 was freaking amazing. But I think it was just so hyped up that I was like, it was good, but it wasn't like amazing. Like, I don't know. It was still one of the best storylines in the series. I give it that. And I actually beat the monster arena. Like, I'm honestly surprised I did. Like, I didn't cheat or anything. Like, I just took suggestions from reading up facts in my strategy guide that I got. I managed to actually get a copy of the strategy guide. And I managed to beat S rank on my first try. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I got ridiculously lucky. And of course I did the casino a crud ton. Like, when I was like cooking dinner or something, I would just sit there and mindlessly do bingo. So I got like the gingham whip like as soon as I possibly could. It was kind of cheap in all honesty. Like the fact that I got the gingham whip so early in the game. Oh, I'm out. Let's buy some more. Buy some now. Whoops, nope. No, I wanna push the right button. I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about, because like I said, I really want to, for some reason I want to finish this house before I quit this video, because I don't want to, for some reason, if you guys want to finish watching me paint a room. Can't think of anything else that's really going on. Icon's doing well. He's been really busy recently too, but I don't think anything's bad's going on with him. So Helper's doing well. He's just been really busy taking care of me, taking me to 4 million hospital visits, because one of the funny thing is, so for like what, 10 years, I thought I was hypoglycemic, because if I didn't eat after a couple hours, I'd feel like my blood sugar was really low. So I just assumed I was hypoglycemic because I had all the symptoms. I, had the reactions, and I was like, yeah, hypoglycemic. So I just lived my life eating so many grams of sugar and protein every 2 to 3 hours. And that's what I've been doing for 10 years. It's just one of those things. And ironically, during all this, it turns out I'm not. Let's pick a different bed. Ooh, that's ugly. Let's pick that. Let's pick the ugliest bed. Oh, it's not as ugly. Oh, let's put the bed right next to the radiator. That's safe. I mean, that sounds like a terrible idea. Another computer desk. Yeah, so, my endocrinologist, who's one of the specialists that's helping me right now, she was like, you're not hypoglycemic. And I said, how am I not hypoglycemic? Like, my blood sugar feels really, really low. And she's like, well, that doesn't mean that, your blood sugar is low. You just feel like it is. And I'm like, wait, seriously? So, she was telling me about it, and she was like, your body is just naturally producing so much sugar that when it gets lower, it freaks out. But they actually did a blood test on me to prove their point. And I went in when I was feeling low to do a blood test, and it turns out they were right. Wait, which wardrobe did you want? Charles? So glad they added this ability to like search, because that wasn't there when I first played, and it kind of annoyed me. Anyways, and so it was funny because she was like, no, your body from the Cushing's most likely is producing so much extra sugar that I could be hyperglycemic. And I just thought that was really interesting. Having said that, the reason I started that conversation was poor Helper. He's been having to drive me to the hospital a lot because I had to fast for so many of these blood tests, and I couldn't drive because it was Chest of Drawers Mall, right? Yeah. I couldn't drive because I felt like my blood sugar was low and it was unsafe for me to drive. So he had to take time off for work several times to drive my butt around. Wow. How many more freaking rooms are there? I'm sorry, guys. I might just end the video anyway if this is taking too long. What room? Another towel radiator. Yeah, unfortunately this game can get a little tedious. I don't know. I like it. I mean, this like I said, this is something to get my mind off life, I guess. I enjoy it, but I'm weird. I guess I'm not the only one though, because I think the game got really popular for a while there. And I think there's a DLC coming up where they have like you can go outside and do stuff, which would be kind of neat, actually. Yeah, because I looked it up before I started recording this, and I was like, oh, I'll install that if it's ready, but it just says Q1. Okay, where's the dirt? Oh, okay, good, got it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like on my mini map on the right, I actually have the ability to see dirt. I have a magical superhero ability to see dirt. I don't know how, but you know, it's funny. Who would pit out a house like this anyway? Yeah, when I was watching Luca Jin play this, I think she was actually playing it was still in beta, so there were all these bugs and stuff. It actually kind of made it funnier because like she was having the dangest time sometimes getting dirt, and she's like, "Where the heck is this dirt?" And the magic Swiffer mop, they can get anything. Oh, okay, I got the dirt. Let's clean the window. Helper, how long has it been? I can't see the timer.
I don't know. I can't see the timer.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Well, basically, I mean, it's not been an hour.
Half an hour.
Oh, half an hour. Let's say, if you guys have made it this long and it was an hour, then you guys must be either really bored or, you know, you really like this game. For some reason, every time I look out this window, I was like, oh, look at the pyramids. Oh, no, it's just a really colonial-looking house outside. I've watched so much House Hunters recently. I'm learning all about house types, which I didn't know about for the longest time because I don't really care. I mean, I didn't even realize that there were like so many different types of houses, like colonial and ranch, and I didn't even know there were names for it. I just assumed, you know, that's the style. Let's go. And I guess it would probably, when I was house hunting years ago, probably would have helped my realtors if I had actually like known what I wanted. All right, well, I think I'm just going to stop it here because this is just going to keep going, and I think there's even another room after this, and painting the room is going to take a while, and then I got to place all those beds again. You guys already seen that. So anyway, so like I said, just to sum up, I'm going to try my dangest to get a backlog of Monster Rancher, but like I said, with all these hospital appointments and just trying to do all my other normal stuff on top of that, I haven't had a chance to record, so there's probably going to be a gap. I'll try my best to not have one. And then, of course, with Suikoden, Icon and I have scheduled extra recording sessions to get that last flame done beforehand, but I'll post a comment if for some reason it doesn't happen, just so you guys know it's coming, that there's going to be a gap. But like I said, I'm going to try, so I hope you guys are all doing well, and slightly belated Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope everything is going well, so bye for now.